Hello everyone, back again doing an update video for the most part, just a walking video. It's not as late as usual, so there's probably going to be some traffic and more noise and whatnot, but anywho, I've been busy as all get out, and I have a lot theoretically in mind, if I can think of, to say and explain what's been going on. Long story short, my main channel, XOYNI, has 2 strikes on it, which means if any of my videos in the next 3 months or so get a strike, then I lose that channel completely. So I highly recommend going on XOYNI, watching everything you can, recording everything you can, having backups. I'm trying to do it, but 1, I don't have time. 2, I don't really know how to do it. 3, when I put in my information, my ID, all that stuff through Google, it doesn't allow me to get the request for, excuse me for a moment here, I gotta turn off battery saver. It's notifying me. So yeah, my phone's at 14% as well, so I don't know how long I'll be able to record on this device. Might have to switch over to my other one here soon. Anywho, I'm gonna pull out my other device, my phone, and look at some stuff, so just bear with me here. So yeah, like I said, XOYNI is very likely going to get banned, and I'm going to lose all that stuff that I have on there, all the subscribers, and I really don't have a way of doing much about it. The only things that I could really do, I feel like I've done. I went and locked any video for the last, I don't know, several months or whatnot, and I'm hoping the algorithm doesn't pick up on something, because if it gets a strike no matter what, I'm pretty sure it's just gone. I don't think I can even appeal it. Like, I got a report or whatever. Someone reported something I uploaded, I guess. And then someone manually looked at it and said it was fine. So I won that appeal, which is fairly rare. I'd say about 80 to 90% of the time when you get a strike, there's no getting around it. But that time I actually did. Because I didn't really do anything that was wrong. So I'm glad that it worked out the one time. Not only that, you can't upload for 2 weeks on there, and I just kind of gave up on recording on XOYNI until I get rid of the strikes. I'm going to have to really calm down on some stuff that are considered controversial on there. And I'll use my backups probably and build those out with the other stuff. Generally, I don't even think about it. I just kind of record and then upload real quick. You can probably tell based on the title how quickly I am to upload it. If it's grammatically not correct or not full out and it doesn't link up any other channels, it's probably that I was in a huge hurry. I was probably working or doing something else and never got back to it like I planned. So that's why. Yeah, I've put in over 7 years on XOYNI, so it'd be great if I could keep it a little bit longer. I just need to try to get past these strikes here, and then we can go from there on what happens next. I've been getting steady growth lately, and over the last maybe year or so, I've really tried to just constantly record, constantly update, just like I said I would, and I pretty much doubled in subscribers, which is very significant for me, because there's been times on that for years at a time that I wasn't able to upload or whatever, and especially with the screen recording, it's really helped me have more content come out. And sometimes it's just like filler content. It's just, you know, whatever I'm watching or so forth, or something I think's cool. But, you know, that's just how it goes. I've put in a lot, and hopefully some people have enjoyed it. I get occasional, like, really viral type videos where I get like 10 to 100 times my subscriber base, or even more. It just depends. There's no pattern necessarily that I'm noticing. No one topic gets, you know, crazy views every time, or or anything like that. I don't know if it's a timing thing, if I'm uploading like in the middle of the night and nobody sees it until the next day, theoretically, and then it's buried in their feed or something. There's different, possibilities. I generally just record and upload real quick. I don't space it out. I don't do any of that other stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now that the XOYNI news is pretty much done, I think ALEXOYNI, I believe there's a DC at the end as well. That backup channel has about 70 subscribers, so that's my second biggest channel that I can really upload on, because one of my other channels, I don't know if it got erased or what happened, was XODCYNI. I haven't been on that thing in months. It used to show up on my device and then it just kind of disappeared. So I don't know if it got taken down or what. Honestly, I haven't had time to really dig into it or whatnot. Anywho, my second channel, I believe, has 1 strike, so I'm really watching what I'm doing there as well. And any like real quote-unquote controversial content, which isn't really controversial, like my esoteric videos on like weather and different things like that, I haven't really been uploading those. So I feel like here in a few months, maybe I'll be able to get back on some of those, maybe make some new channels and whatnot. It's just such a busy time for me right now, and once things slow down, I can get rid of these strikes. Hopefully we'll be able to get a bunch of content going, and that's really all it's about, just getting a bunch of content up and just having a good time and whatnot. I gotta worry about all this other nonsense that just because the computers have issues or whatever. Generally, like I said, when a human reviews a strike, they just overturn it because they see that there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the computers. And you can't really get a hold of anyone at Google to talk to. So they know I'm not like a pattern problem or anything. So, another problem is for viewers and whatnot. I'm not in the partner program. I don't really care to be necessarily. That's when you can start getting paid for content. I put out, a lot of content, and it's just kind of like whatever, if you get paid for it or not. I don't do it to get paid, but if I grow enough subscribers and enough view counts, I could go into the partner program and get more viewers, kind of share my stuff more to the public. I've been doing a lot more for just like close friends and stuff like that, like whoever sees my content. I don't know, maybe there's like 400 or so people on XOYNI that are strangers to me or whatnot. I don't know. But anywho, I would say probably about 30 or so probably aren't. They're probably people I actually know and so forth. I really don't know, honestly. Anywho, yeah, and then I have the WWE Rhea Morgan channel, which is also another variety channel. They're all variety channels. I've tried to organize them nicely, but it just doesn't seem to work out. It doesn't work out for many reasons. One, just the timing. Like, say I want to do like a Pokemon channel on one. I don't necessarily get 10 Pokemon videos out a day, so to speak. And I try to get as much as I can out. And I've been trying to do longer videos when I can, so that's kind of nice. It just takes longer, and the problem is when I can't upload it, say like on the device I have in my right hand, my backup phone, that one doesn't have like phone capabilities right now. It just has the internet, so that's why I'm recording on this, and I'm reading through on my other channel or my other device. So yeah, I always take advantage of my time and so forth with a lot of these things. So when you're also in these positions, you can't add videos to your playlists and different things like that. It really just locks you out for a couple weeks, and it's just an annoyance, frankly. So I have a lot of screenshots. I got to go in and find the videos and write the stuff down and all these different things. I have thousands and thousands of pictures and screenshots and things I'd like to re-upload and that type of deal, but I'm saving as much as I can. It's kind of like sometimes if I have YouTube Studio, it'll let me download some videos, but they have to be my own channel. So like, I think it has to do with the strikes. Once those go away or whatnot, I can probably save some more stuff, and then I can re-upload a lot of it. A lot of it's my stuff, a lot of it's other people's stuff. I try to give credit to them in the title, at least write their name, so people know that it's not just my stuff. You can kind of tell if you've listened to enough. They're not all my voice. It's pretty obvious. Also, as for some of the other content that doesn't really have noise or whatnot, at least it doesn't when... So let me try to put this a certain way. I'm trying to think here. I try to record stuff without audio on my one phone, my main phone, the one with internet and all that, and phone capability and so forth. That, I just need a moment here to think. That one doesn't really record audio for whatever reason, unless it's like an internal thing. It's like it doesn't record audio, but then sometimes when the videos go up, there's audio on them. So I don't try to record things like where someone's talking too much or whatnot. Like I'll record like some of my Pokemon videos or my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff I'm watching, just like some duels or some battles or whatever. That way, if it's like a discussion video, you're not just like unable to understand what's going on. And it took me a while to realize that was actually going on. I had no idea. And another thing is, I'll go into YouTube Studio we're talking months at a time go by without. And then it'll start saying like, I can't hear anything in the video, or, they'll comment on something and I'll have no way of knowing they commented. Like almost never. Once in a great while, I'll get a notification about like, oh, someone liked your video, someone liked your comments, someone commented. I have no way of seeing any of that stuff until generally months later. So as soon as I see that, I generally comment right back and try to explain the best I can. I try to advertise my other channels because I already know that all my channels are at a risk for losing, for being banned and so forth at some point. So I'm trying to build them out the best I can. Excuse me. Interesting. As for future events, just kind of the same thing. Just a lot of uploading, a lot of videos, so forth. And I really don't see what the big fuss is with all this. I feel like I've really been trying to walk the straight and narrow for quite a while lately, waiting for that first strike to come off. Then I got a second one, and it's very possible to get multiple strikes at a time, which I think is completely ridiculous. Like, I just don't like the strike system, frankly. I just don't think it's very good. I think that if anything, you can like stop people from uploading for a week or two, but don't put a strike or whatever on them and say like, you do this again, we might take your channel down or whatever. Like, that's unnecessary. That's really just overkill, because generally I might have something that very rarely is ever considered controversial, and I just upload it and I'm just like, yeah, let me just do this. Like, I don't purposely do that. And I think it's pretty easy to for the computers to pick up on things that aren't actually wrong or so forth, and then you're kind of just hurting for really doing nothing wrong. But anywho, so yeah, all the channels have at least one strike, I think. Oh, I think Rhea Morgan actually might have been, that was the one that got appealed, I believe. So it said that something was reported or whatever, and then when I appealed it, I believe it was overturned. It was either that or ALEX Hawaii and I. So yeah, I think there'll be videos for the time being as much as possible. Like I said, I'd have a lot more out if, one, I had the time, two, I had the ability to upload more than 10 videos a day, because, you know, like I said, when I try to do the long videos, if it sits for an hour or two, sometimes it doesn't save, and that's very annoying when you put that much time in it. Luckily, what I do is I just hit the record button and just go on with my day, whatever I'm doing. So it doesn't generally bother me too much. But it can be annoying, for sure. Like I said, I always try to organize them the best I can with, like, my one phone that doesn't really record audio. I purposely just don't upload stuff that really talks on it, unless it's like myself talking, then it does it. And then it's kind of iffy on if it picks up noises around or whatnot. I haven't noticed the pattern, really. I don't know what heads or tails are with it. So that's that situation. You know, like I always say, I highly recommend checking out the other channels. I greatly appreciate it. I've been trying to advertise my friends and whatnot on here. They actually upload pretty consistently. That's the word I'm thinking. Yikes. It's been a long day. I've barely had any sleep in several days. Pretty consistently. Anything from shorts to video games to discussions to really anything that they kind of want to do. So I've got some friends that do that. I try to put their information around, and I know a lot of people don't look at descriptions and so forth. I don't really look at descriptions either, frankly. It's just a bad habit of mine. So if anyone puts their stuff in descriptions, I generally don't see it. It's just a bad habit is all. I've got some things that I'm trying to go back. Like, I know we did a couple Pokemon battles, which is very, very rare. It was like the first time in like 3 or 4 years we got to record us. Well, we actually battled, and we sat there and we double recorded it on the phones. So I recorded on both my devices, I believe, so it should be on multiple channels with Silent Castle. And we just were playing around with some Uber battles, just broken stuff. And I tried making him a team, I tried making myself a team real quick, and we just had at it, and I thought it was pretty fun. Like, it was something that we never really seemed to get to do, because really we're never together to do videos and stuff like that for long enough. So we used to be able to do that more often, but we're working on that. Yeah, so the point of what I'm saying is we got to record the audio, and so I want to go back and record the video off the DS and show the audio. So it's like a live thing. You can actually see what's going on with the audio. But yeah, that was fun. We did a two battles with the same teams, and I won both. I thought that if he would have done a few things better, he would have at least gotten significantly closer. I feel like the one battle, he kind of gave up 2 free Pokemon that he shouldn't have. If he would have just put in some different things, I think he would have been fine. Just because he had good matchups on it, and he just thought a different way. But that's just my opinion, how I saw it. And my team, I feel like, was a lot more competitively ready in the sense of like having status and that type thing, which I really don't like to use for the most part. But I had already made most of the team up, and then right before we battled, I kind of switched up the teams, and I was like, do I have all the coverage I really want? Do I have coverage for all my weaknesses? Do I have my stab coverage? At least one stab move generally. And then I would generally have like one move available, so I would teach like either Protect or Toxic or Swagger or Calm Mind or Swords Dance or Dragon Dance or Thunder Wave or whatever move. Confuse Ray. Just all them scrub moves that are highly annoying. So I taught quite a few of those. Reflect and Light Screen, those are other ones. The funny thing was, ironically, he just randomly hit me with a brick break when I had screens up. And it broke the screens, obviously, if you're familiar with that. And we just didn't even think anything of it. But that was just a funny thing. I was like, well, I reckon if I want the screens up, I got to do another turn. Basically, take another hit. So you have to kind of weigh your timing and whatnot. So it's like, generally, like first turn, you set up your screen. That way, you're only taking the damage. You're taking less damage as opposed to, say you set up you don't set up the screen, you go for an attack first, or you set up a like a risky move, like a Confuse Ray or something like that, where they could still hit you the next turn pretty easily, or say like a Toxic or whatever. You're still going to be taking a lot of damage that you don't need to take because you could have set up a screen first turn. That's how I look at it. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. You know, there wasn't much on either of the games that we could do. I just kind of grabbed a couple games and I was like, okay, so we're getting together real quick. Let's get a couple battles in. And that's what we got out of it. I was very particular about trying to not use multiple types of Pokemon on the same team. I've always been that kind of person where ideally you want to do that where you don't allow like two of the same types and so forth, and you don't we also don't switch. That's another thing. We really just don't like that. We never really like switching out. We just felt like, okay, one-on-one, whoever wins, wins. And then whoever else comes in, you either win or lose. Like, that's just all there is to it. You ain't got to switch out and just preserve the battle, and then you almost want to feel like playing like Stealth Rocks and Spikes and all this other stuff that's not ideal to use. So we just never really cared to do that. Let's see. That's pretty much the YouTube news that I have off the top of my head. I would say definitely keep track of Sonic Castle Variety. My friend's content that he's uploading some video game stuff I haven't got to check out. He generally sends me reaction videos to look at some point, and I'll usually, very rarely, but when I get to see them, I'll try to watch them and record. Very rarely do I ever watch anything. I'm mostly just listening to something, and so I react to them. So there should be plenty of reaction videos, unless those are locked right now. Like I said, XOY and I has a lot of locked videos, if you're looking there. But I'm really not planning on uploading on XOY and I until those strikes are gone, for sure, because I'm not risking it, and I know the algorithm will pick it up if you're more active. If you kind of disappear, lay low for a few months, it probably won't even matter. Like, they probably won't even notice that you're gone, or whatever, and then you come back and everything's good to go. Like I said, most of the time that I get strikes, I don't feel like they're deserved. And some people are very particular about striking your content. Like, I've had people ask for it to be taken down, which I guess that's fine. It's their stuff. All I'm doing is really just advertising their content, but for whatever reason, if they feel like I'm taking it or whatever, it's just like retweeting something or sharing something online. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's just showing what somebody said, or in this case, recorded. So, I mean, I put them up there for a reason, because I think it's cool content. I think it's something that people would like. And that's really all there is to it with that. So, this is actually nice at night, which is usually when I'm the most tired. And the most busy. And this gives me a chance to just kind of walk around, gets my exercise in as much as possible. I'll do it for hours depending on how cold it is or how hot it is, and just kind of talk, record, upload, whatever I need to do. Like, the problem is with my things, as much as I upload, I have to upload them as quickly as possible, and then I still have to wait for the upload. So it takes many hours a day between recording and uploading. So hopefully I've given a decent library of stuff over at least the last 7 years to really get content out. I shared a lot of channels. I have many subscribers and even more subscriptions. I have multiple thousands, at least over 1,000 subscriptions. I've went in and tried to write down my subscriptions, so when the channel gets banned, I can find the channel. A lot of them aren't really active, but they still have cool content online, so I'm glad they didn't take it down. People get busy and whatnot, so there's always something on here that is going to be highly interesting and so forth. Generally, if you're looking for something, you'll find it. Trying to look into other different things as well. I have a lot of content on the same stuff, and I'm trying to record and listen to other stuff as well. So every now and then you'll get some rare uploads when I can do them, whether I'm recording myself playing a game or some gameplay of something more than just like a Pokemon battle or Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel, something like that, or a wrestling match on a video game. But like I said, it just depends on the copyright. It seems like I had it down, like, I know this is gonna get copywritten. Like, don't upload this, don't put music on this, don't put the screen on this. Generally I do that, and I stay pretty good, but once in a while, they'll still copyright it. I know a lot of times I get either age restrictions or, what's the other thing? Blocked in other countries, whatever it's called. So it's not seen as much, which is fine, I suppose. Generally, it's not really age restrictive content, but I can understand why some of the videos would be every now and then. Like, I've recorded some wrestling matches or Pokemon battles, and they consider that copyright. And I don't have the music on or whatnot, which, I mean, that's kind of obvious. You don't put like their music on, you don't put on any of that kind of stuff, at least in wrestling, because those are copyrighted things. Like, that's their own thing. You can't use that. But another thing I thought was kind of wild was when you're playing a Pokemon battle or whatever, and you have the volume on, the little battle music or whatever, I've had that have problems on me, and that surprised me to a degree. It surprised me at the time, at least, and it was just like, all right, I guess if that's what we are gonna do, then that's what we'll do. But it just seems to be a bit much, frankly. So, yeah, Silent Castle and I both experienced stuff like that, and we're just like, okay, well, I guess it is what it is, but we don't agree with it type deal, for sure. So I've tried to talk him through a lot of things, like when you upload things, you can't play like the music or whatever, or like, especially I think Silent was doing some WWE 2K games, and like in story mode, it'll show like what happened on the episode of like Raw, SmackDown, the pay-per-views, and obviously that's considered copyright too, and he wasn't really aware of that. So I was like, you got to be careful on that, because you can do a lot of things right and something just randomly pops up. I think it even copyrights some of the commercials, because especially on long videos on channels that are sponsored and whatnot, that have ads and so forth, you get an ad that has like a song in it or has like whatever in it, it can be shut down, and you didn't mean to do it. You might not have even seen it, but it happened, so to speak. So that's something that's generally out of my control as well, especially when I'm uploading. Sometimes I've had 3-hour videos go up before, so it's bound to happen at some point to have some issue. But for the most part, that's pretty much the YouTube situation, what's been going on. You know, always staying busy, always working on some different things. I've beaten some Pokemon games recently. Been doing trades, trying to restart, trying to save all the old Pokemon over before racing it. Doing a lot of trades and evolutions. Doing like my stone evolutions, all my special evolutions, and then hopefully got a lot of content coming out whenever, specifically it would be with Silent Castle. Ideally we do some battles, like we talked about this stuff for years, like we do like Ash versus Paul battles and just all the different things like that, which I've talked about for years, and other people have their versions of them anyway, so that's cool and all. I feel like a lot of times, like, I'll just say their names are Bro Gamer Channel and Versus Network. Like, they really try to show off the power of a lot of their Pokemon. Like, they just, like, probably EV train and so forth. And they show, like, the best moveset. Like, okay, so I have a Pikachu. He's not the best Pokemon, but you can teach him all these coverage moves, all these status moves, or so to speak, if you're playing as Ash. Where the point of battling for me with Ash's team would be to make their moveset somewhat accurate. So you'd have like your Thunderbolt, your Iron Tail, you know, Agility, Quick Attack, Volt Tackle, Electro Ball, like those type moves. And they just kind of show like their best moves. Or they're like Gigantamax Pikachu, or like Mega Evolve, something that Ash never Mega Evolves, like Heracross or Charizard or Sceptile, or whatever. It's like, I don't remember him ever Mega Evolving any of these, and I feel like that's not really accurate to the power level of what he had. Like, I'm all okay if you put him at level 100 or whatever, but if there's a Pokemon that still evolves once or twice through level up, I'm probably not going to evolve him. I'm not going to put him to level 100. And then you can always cut him to level 50s. There's just different things you can do. Another idea I feel like Silent and I could do, one is like the tag team Switch games. If we can ever get in front of a TV long enough and do like the Let's Go or whatever, because that's supposed to be like a co-op. Like, that was one of the big things that was really cool about it. And then now we're years later and we haven't gotten around to it. So it's just one of those things I've been wanting to do, as well as, you know, playing on the TV, that type deal. And the other thing is, like, on Generation 6, there's there's the battle Mazons or whatever, where you can team up, and I've won 32 battles straight on super single mode or whatever. So, and that wasn't bad in one sitting. I just went one after the next or the next. And I did that for hours. And I pretty much just was sweeping through teams. Some of them were pretty close, but for the most part, I just smacked them around. I was using, like, I think it was like Garchomp, Blaziken, Mega Scizor. I know Mega Scizor came in clutch all the time because he had the Mega, he had Technician, and he had like Bullet Punch. So it does only 40, but with Technician it doubles, so it goes to 80, and it's a priority. So you're going to get your first attack off, or if you just need to save him for last, and they knock you out before you have a chance to do much, you just throw out Scizor last, finish them up. Or if, you know, it's a really fast Pokemon that might outspeed Scizor, you got Bullet Punch. You got Stab, Technician, Bullet Punch. Like, that's pretty good. So, highly recommend it. Once again, I'm not really a EV trainer, mostly just because I don't have the time or over interest about it. I feel like it just breaks Pokemon way, way too much. Like, I think Kyogre, like, on a really good Kyogre that's like level 100, might get into the early 300s or mid 300s. I think it get it up to like 400 special attack or something like that. 400 base. Or not, I'm sorry, not 400 base, 400 total. 400 to 500 total. I'm like, why do you need that? That's just too much. And then, like, if I try to use that Kyogre, so to speak, and I try to battle against Silent Castle or something, it's like, there's no real challenge. There's no real back and forth. It's just, okay, I'm going to take a hit, I'm going to one-shot you. Like, it's not that difficult. And I want it to be a little more back and forth. So, I feel like that's how Silent Castle looks at things as well. So we just don't do that very much. I will sometimes try to breed like a good nature. If I see like a Pokemon that has like a physical attacker, like a Blaziken or a Lucario or Garchomp or something that you want to build in, you can build in physical or even special or something with high speed. You just put an Everstone on the Pokemon when you breed it with a Ditto, and the baby will be having the same ability or same nature. So yeah, there's that. I look up guides from time to time, and then I'll see like, oh, do I have a Pokemon that does this? Like recently I had a bunch of Chandelures that all had, not Flash Fire, Flame Body maybe? Maybe they all had Flame Body for the most part, and then like one of them had Flash Fire. So then I would breed the other ones, I'd breed that and make Litwick with try to breed that one to make Flash Fire, just in case I wanted some more. So I have a lot of Pokemon for Silent and that type deal. We have a lot of trades to do. I have a game that has basically unlimited stones and items and so forth. Not necessarily Master Balls as much, but about every other item. I've at once had 999. Even like the items that are banned or hacked or whatever, because someone must have action replayed it or something, whatever the equivalent is now, hacked it, and so that was kind of the situation there. So yeah, like I said, I've been trying to level stuff up. Also, rare candies. I don't think I had like 999 or like the Carbo vitamins and all that stuff. I didn't have those, but as for like stones and so forth, I've been evolving stuff so I can stone evolution, stone evolve, or trade evolve, or any of that type of stuff. Saves me a lot of time, so I don't have to go to the battle maison and spend all those points that take a little bit of time to accumulate. Like, even when you get into the super single, excuse me here, super single battle maison challenge, you're only getting 5 to 10 points for each win. So you're still spending 32 or 64, or if you wanted the ability capsule to switch his ability, it's like 200. So you're putting a lot of time and effort into it. I don't think I've ever bought the ability capsule, even though I've had like 500 points on there before, and I don't feel like I need an ability that bad. I'd rather just breed something and make it from scratch anyways. Then I get a new Pokemon anyway. So, but there's plenty of good items you can buy. Just takes time, really. That's all I can say. You know, I play a lot when I can on some Pokemon games. Like I said, I always try to evolve and whatnot. One of my biggest things is just like throughout your game, just have items. Just have your potions if you're, battling and whatnot. If not, just go and battle people and run through areas and have a bunch of quick balls. Because the way I pretty much do it is almost every wild encounter, I throw a quick ball. If it doesn't catch, generally I just knock it out. But, especially in X and Y and onwards, you get experience just for catching Pokemon too. So, you're getting like 2 or 3 different things done at one time. That's really the best you can say. Like, that's cool. And so I'm pretty good about that. I get heart scales, I pay attention to like what can learn what, and so forth. It's a very calculating thing. It takes time, and there's a lot you could theoretically do. So I try to do everything I can. I know there's egg moves and stuff like that. I don't generally do egg moves too much, unless there's like a Pokemon that's like really random that has something cool. Like I think I saw somewhere about Hippowdon and Shiftry can breed and make a Hippowdon with Whirlwind. And that was one of its main moves for the set. It was on Verlicify from back in the day. He's got a playlist called How to Use Pokemon. And it's under unlisted, so you have to have the playlist. I don't know why he locked it like that, but cool stuff. So I sit through that kind of stuff and try to get ideas. If I'm not really listening to a lot, that's kind of what I do. I've been kind of just unenthused with some of the other stuff and kind of burn out with some of the content that I generally upload and so forth. Just kind of trying to take a break a little bit and just like mentally taking a break from things, working on different things. Like I was going to do some trades. Like I have my games in my pocket, but I've been so into focusing on this upload, this recording, I haven't really felt the need to do it. And I've had this video up, and I've paid very little attention to it. It's like a Pokemon battle. Another thing is I'm not really up to date on a lot of the new stuff, honestly. Like I'm pretty much just stuck on Generation 6. It has over 700 Pokemon to look at. You can get them from 4 games. It kind of takes the best of a lot of different things that you're going to like, from egg moves to dex nav to shiny hunting to egg moves to really good TMs and move tutors and the ability to get a lot of things. Like I just really like those games. I think they're frankly one of the best games that there is for Pokemon. Like, I'm very much a nostalgia Generation 3 type person, but I just think that they just did such a good job. Like, even if you like Generation 3, Generation 4, Generation 5, you're locked once Generation 6 comes around because it moved over to the next console. So, I put in time on my Generation 3, 4, and 5 games, but you're stuck. Your Pokemon aren't moving from anywhere beyond Generation 3, 4, and 5. Unless you do like the Pokemon Home and whatnot, which I don't really want to do. I've had issues where I move stuff up, whether I got them through trades and they were hacked, and they would just get erased, or if there's ever some kind of electrical outage or a glitch or something, and you move over all these Pokemon or you store them there, then you're stuck. Another thing is just forgetting about it or not paying for the service anymore, and you lose all your stuff. Another thing is they've highly censored since Generation 5. Generation 6, like all the 3DS and Switch games are highly censored for nicknames and whatnot, and I make very vulgar nicknames. I'm not even gonna lie, that's just how it is. I have a lot of vulgar nicknames, just whatever I'm seeing around me or thinking, or just something funny. Like when I see a Pokemon, I throw it out and it's called, something vulgar, and it gets a chuckle out of me. Like, that's the idea. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna think of completely random and whatnot? And so, yeah, I've got plenty of things that would just be erased. Like, it doesn't just, not let you move them. It just, erases them. And I'm not erasing my stuff, especially with my shiny, perfect EV hacked crap that people have gotten for me. Yeah, I'm just not going to do that. So, I've just never been a big fan of the concept. I'm sorry, not the concept. The execution of Pokemon Home and Pokemon Transfer. The only things I like to do is the PAL Park and the, I guess it would just be called Poke Transfer. So, you move your Pokemon from Generation 3, like your Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire, Red, Leaf, Green. You're going to move those up to Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver, to Generation 5, Black, White, Black and White 2. You can move those up through PAL Park to Generation 4, and then Poke Transfer for Black and White 2. I guess it'd be more Black and White 2. So yeah, I mean, they gave us plenty of options, especially for nearly 15 years ago. I mean, it's been over 15 years since Generation 5. So, yeah. And then there's always new things coming out. It feels like people are speculating on new games and new Pokemon and so forth, which, I mean, it's cool to a degree, but it's like one of those things that everyone seems to do, and I try to avoid it, frankly. I don't like seeing the news myself. Like the new games, I didn't want to look too much into them. I didn't want to really read the speculations or the leaks that people put out. I did see a list of 20 or more Mega Pokemon that theoretically were leaked. I've seen at least 20, and I like a lot of them. I think it'd be cool. Which, I have plenty of other topics that cross my mind throughout weeks at a time. I generally forget to do, but I like to do more in-depth content on a singular topic, like what Pokemon I like to get, like a Mega Evolution or something like that. Another thing is I like to do that with Silent Castle, and I really like to look through every Pokemon and be like, okay, this Pokemon would be really cool with a Mega. And not just because it's oh, this is my favorite Pokemon, let's give Mewtwo 2 Megas, even though it has the second highest stats in the game, or whatever it was at the time, or number 1 before Arceus. That's not necessary. Now you're just breaking it beyond being broken. Pokemon that don't have, they could get a regional form or a different evolution, or a new typing, or just anything, just something to change it. And I think that would be a cool concept. And I've got some music stuff that I've been really paying attention to, some things I've been writing down and whatnot. But yeah, for the time being, thanks for watching, guys. God bless.